Hello everyone, my name is Liesl Hartman and I work in the Centre for Arts Education at the Zeitz MOCAA. The Zeitz MOCAA is the Museum of Contemporary Art in Africa and it's located in Cape Town in South Africa. Welcome to our first online Open Studio session. When we do Open Studio sessions at the museum, when the museum was open, we invited children and guests to come into our classroom studio and enjoy a practical art making activity with us. We'd often base that activity inspired by one of the artists in the museum or one of the exhibitions. And today we'll be doing the same thing. I'm working from home, as many people are during this time, and I'm helped out by my son, who's busy doing the camera work for us today. So thank you, Tristan. Today, our activity is inspired by William Kentridge, who is probably one of South Africa's most well-known artists. William Kentridge has a very big exhibition called Why Should I Hesitate?, putting drawings to work at the museum at the moment, which opened last year. And one of the things which he's most well known for are his drawings. In particular, many of his drawings include pictures of animals. And one of the animals that William Kentridge draws over and over again is a cat. Now, William Kentridge's cat is often not very friendly and has a scratchy fur, and he often seems a little bit sly. But today we are going to do a picture and we're going to do our own scratchy cat and we're going to place him on a pattern carpet. More about that in a little bit. For your activity today, you're going to need a number of materials. I'm going to show you and we're going to run through them one by one so that you can prepare yourself. First of all, we need a couple of sheets of paper. You can either work with plain white paper or with colored paper. And I want to encourage you to use recycled paper. So use the back of calendars or old books, which are perfect for this activity. Also, if you have a magazine or two, you may need 1 or 2 pieces of magazine paper as well, and more about that later. Because we're going to start out with drawing, you're going to need a pencil and possibly an eraser to correct some of your mistakes. You'll need some colored chalks or pastels or crayons. I've got some oil pastels, which I will work with. If you don't have crayons, you're very welcome to use Koki pens or some pencil crayons if you like. Also later on, I may be using a little bit of watercolour, paints, and I've got that alongside me on my table as well. You will need a pair of scissors and a glue stick as well. And then little bits of scrap paper, and we'll explain where you can get those from as the lesson progresses. I hope that you're going to enjoy your activity with us today as we create our scratchy cat on a pattern carpet inspired by William Kentridge. So everyone, Tristan has changed his position so that you can watch me doing the activity a little bit more clearly. And what I'm showing you is an example of what we're doing. We're doing a picture today of a scratchy cat on a Persian rug or a carpet or a mat. William Kentridge loved doing drawings of cats, and often his cats had scratchy, spiky fur, and that's what we're going to be doing today. So I'm going to put the example aside, and then we're going to go through the activity one step at a time. Now, you may have your own cat at home, which you can draw from. You can use pictures of cats. And I normally start this activity just by using a pencil and a little eraser if you make a mistake. And we start on an A4 piece of paper. And we're wanting to fill that entire piece of paper. So we don't want a little drawing of a cat. We want him nice and big and bold on that piece of paper. And as you can see, what I've done already with my pencil is I've made a drawing of a cat. This cat is sitting beautifully, and I've drawn him in pencil. I've got another example here of a different cat, and that cat is standing. We can just put his eyes in, and he's got a beautiful long tail, which we can lengthen a little bit. Right. Now, once you've got your lovely drawing of your cat in pencil, I'm going to take out a line here, which I've put in, which was a little bit, so you can use your eraser and fix your mistakes a little bit. And I've got an extra line there that I'm going to take out. Right. And now we're going to use a black crayon. I've got a black oil pastel. If you have a crayon or even a Koki pen, you can use one of those. And we are going to start out by outlining our cat. Let's turn that crayon around so that we get a beautiful bold line of our cat. And this cat has got quite an attitude.
standing on our piece of paper. And if you've drawn your cat in pencil, then it really makes the crayon line a lot easier. And notice this cat also fills my entire page. I'm going to put his beautiful big eyes in. And there he is, his nose, and a bit of his mouth. And he seems quite a friendly guy right now. Right, now, once we've drawn our cat, we are now going to draw its very spiky fur, his scratchy fur, to make him a real scratchy cat. And again, I'm going to just use my black crayon, and with little marks, we're going to fill in this body of this beautiful scratchy cat. Now, one of the things about William Kentridge when he drew is that he often used lots of different kinds of lines and a variety of marks and textures to make his drawings really interesting. And so we are doing the same today to make a really spiky, bristly, scratchy cat. Right up to his paws, and you can put some claws on this cat if you like. Even though he's smiling, it may be nice for us to see his claws. And I'm going to fill his ears in and make them a little bit black and give him a few spikes and hairy pieces on his face. Right. Now we're going to make him even more spiky. I've got 3 different tones of color. I've got a very dark black, then I've got a lighter gray and a white, okay? And now I'm going to choose my gray pastel, and we're going to fill in the in-between bits to give him a really spiky coat. Right. Doesn't he look wonderfully spiky and scratchy? And we're even going to put some of those spikes on the top of his head. There we go. Right. Now, what we're going to do for now is we're going to take our lovely spiky scratchy cat, and I'm going to show you another example of one that I've done before, so that you can see your cat can be in any shape you like. And here's another example of another scratchy cat that I've done. Right, and so we're going to take our cat and we're going to lay him to one side, and now we're going to focus on doing that beautiful carpet background that our cat is going to sit or stand on. And I'm taking another piece of paper. You can use a white piece of paper. Again, it's an A4. I'm just keeping it in a different format. This is a landscape format. You can use colored paper if you like, and I've cut this piece of paper out of an old folder that I had, so you don't need to use a new paper. And then we're going to start making a beautifully patterned carpet. Now, the William Kentridge exhibition, if you've seen it on our website or if you've had a look at some pictures, in some of its installations, they're beautiful Persian carpets that are on the floor of some of those rooms where his artwork was exhibited. And so I've used that as inspiration for our scratchy cat. This time though, I'm going to work in some color, and I'm choosing a red crayon because red's one of my favorite colors. And we're just going to start by making a 1 centimeter border going all the way around to make our beautiful Persian rug. You can use any color, and I'm putting little tassels going all the way around my Persian rug or my carpet. 3 different names for carpet: carpet, rug, or mat. Going all the way around. You can do yours, guys, any way you like. If you'd like to make 2 little tassels together like that, you can do that as well until you go all the way around. And now you can fill in the middle of your Persian rug, and you can also do that in any way that you like. I'm going to do mine in just some simple stripes, and then I'm going to use geometric shapes to fill in those areas. And I'm just using some simple patterns, and we're going to really make a very beautiful carpet until we fill the whole page with our patterns. Now, if you've got a nice range of crayons like I do in different colors, you can fill in your different shapes using different colors. Also, if you have some watercolor paints at home like I do here, you can also paint some of the areas. So just a little bit of water and a paintbrush, and you can fill in some of the in-between spaces with some of your painted color as well. If you only have Koki pens, that's fine, just working Koki pens. And I have another example here to show you what I've done in the meantime. There's another example where I've started to paint some of the color in as well. And when you finish with your beautiful carpet, it may look something like that. And you can see that I've used different color pastels, I've used different color paints, and you can make it as detailed as you like, guys. So even on this one, if you'd like to make that pattern even a bit more detailed, you can go in and make some additional shapes in that carpet to make it really as beautiful and as interesting as you can. So I'm putting some extra circles on there, and I'm working over the paint that's dried. Right. Now, if you've painted your carpet and you want it to dry a little bit, you can put it to one side, and while it's drying, we're going to go back to our scratchy cat and see whether we can finish him off in an interesting way. Right, so I'm going to bring him back onto the table. Here he is, okay? And I'm going to start out by taking my pair of scissors, and I'm going to cut him out. And I'm going to go around those spikes very carefully. And guys, if you struggle with the scissor, you can ask an adult or mum and dad or whoever's in the house to just help you to cut out your cat. Try and go around those spikes, but if you can't, we're going to bring some of those spikes back again, so don't worry. And we're going to cut out our beautiful scratchy cat. I'm keeping some of the spikes, and some of them are a little bit too small for me to go around. So we may lose some of them sticking out as we go. That doesn't matter, and I'm going to show you why in a minute. And I'm going all the way around his tail, all the way around, until I've cut him out completely. Now, the one thing I like to do is to keep all my bits of paper that I've cut out, because we're actually going to use those bits of paper again. So we try not to waste everything, and we try and be creative with all the bits and pieces that we can save and use that we have. I'm going all the way around his claws, and I'm going to try and save some of those beautiful spikes. They're a little bit easier to get around. Until he's completely cut out. It's like doing a bit of gymnastics with the scissors, isn't it? Moving it inside and out. Right. So while our paint is drying on that carpet, if you've painted it, we're finishing our cat. So we're going to use some of that cut-out paper now, and for this next bit, we're now going to create an even more scratchy surface. As you can see, we've lost some of the spikes in the cutting out, and we want to bring some of that back again. And we're going to do that using a technique called collage. And collage comes from a French word meaning to stick or to glue, okay? And so with collage, it's another medium that William Kentridge used and that he really enjoyed using. It's taking bits of torn pieces of paper and making pictures and shapes and images out of that. And we are going to use that same technique to make a textured, spiky, scratchy fur for our beautiful cat. And I'm going to take the pieces of paper that we've cut off from our cat, and I'm just going to tear them into little bits like that, so that I have some white pieces. Now for my cat, you've seen that I've kept him in black and white and grey. And another clever idea is, if you don't have coloured paper, you can go into a magazine, and I've torn some extra bits of grey magazine paper here, and we're going to use some of those with the white pieces to create his fur. You're going to need a little bit of a glue stick, or a little bit of glue. If you have paper glue of any kind will do. And we're going to start out by sticking our pieces of paper like spikes. And can you see the spikes are coming back? So even though we cut out those drawn spikes, we're now creating them with pieces of collaged paper. And we stick them one by one, and we keep going until we've covered his fur entirely. I'm sticking a few pieces of grey over there, and you can see that our drawn pieces are peeping through. So nothing that we've done is wasted. It all becomes part of this beautiful cat that we are making. Right guys, so as you can see, I have filled in my entire cat and covered him with these beautiful pieces of collaged paper and finished his wonderfully scratchy coat. Let's put the last few pieces on. Right, we still have his paws that we haven't done, but perhaps for his paws we can just make that a beautiful black color, if you like. And you can see that some of our original drawn marks are still coming through. And if you like, you can take your black crayon and you can even make some more spikes on top of that torn paper here and there. And there we have our scratchy cat. Let's stick that piece down again. I'm now going to get our example of our carpet, and you can see I finished it with all the beautiful circles and details on it. And we're now going to take our scratchy cat and we're going to put him on top of our carpet. There we go. And we can take some glue, turn him upside down carefully, put some glue on the ends of his paws and in the middle of his body, turn him around again, and stick him onto our wonderful patterned rug. There we go, a scratchy cat on a patterned carpet, inspired by William Kentridge.
Well done, everyone. I hope that you have really enjoyed making your scratchy cat on a pattern carpet with us today, inspired by William Kentridge. Here again is our examples of what we've created today. I'd really like to invite you to put some of your examples, to photograph them and put them on our Instagram page or on the Zeitz MOCAA Facebook page. We'd love to see what you've done. We hope that you've enjoyed this first session with us, and we hope that you'll join us every week in our open studio sessions. Goodbye.